Here's my full Splice Sounds review for 2024. First off, here's how Splice Sounds looks. So we have this right here. And in case you don't know what this is royalty-free samples, meaning you could download any of these samples that are on here, use them in your tracks commercially for business purposes, for whatever, and make money with them. So let's say, and this is how great Splice Sounds is, quick rating, 5 out of 5 stars. I love it, to be honest. There are a couple things I don't like, which we'll talk about. But let's say I'm like, all right, I'm making Moomaton. I can type in Moomaton, and boom. I have a bunch of samples right now, exactly, at the time of this video, 9,454 samples. Everything from a downlifter, to a kick, to a vocal laugh. I mean, I can even organize now by specific genres and different elements or tags here, different instruments, genres. I can pick the exact key. So let's say I'm like, all right, I'm doing a 110 Moomaton song, and I can do either exact, so let's say I'm doing 110, which is kind of the main BPM of Moomaton, and then boom, I have this like right here if I want to use this for my particular track, right? And I can go through all of these different elements. And this is what's amazing, because let's say I'm like, all right, I'm doing, I don't know, I'm thinking something random, like a cinematic song. So let's do like cinematic, and I'm going in the key of D minor, which is personally my favorite key, by the way. I'm going to go to minor, and then I'm going to click D. So now I'm in D minor. Now I have different cinematic elements, all specifically in D minor. And let's say I'm like, all right, now I can scroll through here and pick any one of these, download it, and use it in my track without any worries. One really cool thing, too, that Splice has now is if I click these 3 dots, there's a few different things I can do in terms of features. Now, I can add to my library, meaning I'm downloading it. I'll talk about how that works in a second. I can add to likes, so I can have like my own likes. I know a lot of platforms have this. And then I can view pack, view similar sounds, and copy a link, right? So this is pretty awesome that you have these kind of options here. I also have view similar sounds, right? And so there's a lot of different things I can do just in terms of like downloading the sample. You can see right now, these are the kind of the saved ones I have that I thought were kind of cool. Excuse me, not there. I'm gonna go here, yes. So you can see these are the saved ones that I have that I think are kind of interesting that I maybe plan to use in the future. I also have packs right here. So what will happen a lot is different artists, companies, etc. will release packs. So this G House 2-pack by Sample Magic I really like. And there's obviously a bunch of samples here, right? I can download these use them in my song, no issue whatsoever. I mean, it's pretty awesome, like I said, too. Let's say I'm like, all right, I like this one right here, right? But I'm like, I don't know if that's the exact one I want. It's close, but it's not exactly. I can go to here, go to be like, you know what? I'm going to view similar sounds. Click this. And then I have all these similar sounds like I showed you before that kind of are close in some way, shape, or form to that sound. So quickly finding samples for pretty much anything is super quick. And what's even better about this too is you don't have to be doing this for like music production or making music. There's been times where I was doing a YouTube video and I'm like, all right, I want like a sound of like a record scratch. Like, you know that like kind of like movie situation where like someone says something wrong at a party and there's like a record scratch and everyone's like, what did you say? Like that kind of situation. I could do record scratch, type that in, and then maybe do, click a, didn't mean to do the negative. Click effects, right? And now I have these different like record scratch elements, right? And I could obviously do, I don't know, one of these, whichever one I feel like is going to be best, and use this just for effects. So except if you make movies, if let's say you do anything when it comes to like sound stuff, for lack of a better word, for films or whatever, or for videos, however you want to do it, there's just so many different things to splice. I mean, in addition to, you can get everything from, like I said, kicks, snares, percussive elements. If I wanted a vocal, boom, there is a whole vocal thing right here. I could get complete vocal hooks. You can get full-on 2-minute long vocals for an entire song, right? I mean, I can get everything from that to then even more rarer instruments. For example, I use the berimbau a lot in my tracks. It's an instrument that's used a lot in capoeira, which is Brazilian martial art and dance. I have all these things from the berimbau as well, right? And so it's just so quick and easy to use Splice and download it. Now let's talk about the logistics. That being said, first off, let's talk about how much it costs. Let's start there and then talk about how the pricing works. Because you may notice up here, I have credits. Now, let me explain that. Now, I'm going to go to View Upgrade Options. It's really just how much things cost. Now, when I first joined Splice, before I go to this, it was $8 a month, or technically $7.99. I thought that's very fair. If for $7.99, you get 100 credits. I'll talk about that in a second, how it works. So you get 100 credits for $8. It's $8 a month in terms of the membership. I'm in a sense like grandfathered into that because now it's $12.99 a month. I feel like it's gone up. Now it's weird. They call it Sounds Plus. So I'm not going to upgrade, of course, because I'm like, hey, I pay $7.99 a month. Why would I upgrade? That is kind of unfortunate because not only do you get 100 monthly sounds credits, which is what I have, you get the Bridge plugin, access to their giant sounds library, desktop app, mobile app. It seems like it's kind of the same thing as what I have, but just a little bit more expensive. I mean, granted, 13 versus 7, it's only $6 more, but even still, and then compare plans and features. You can see here, being honest, if you're watching this video, I think Sounds Plus is fine. 100 credits is fine. You do get access to other stuff, like Splice itself doesn't just have the sounds platform. You're looking at things like skills and synth plugins. You can download plugins. There's also rent to own, which I'm not really going to talk about too much on this particular video, but I will say, when it comes to rent to own, it's a great feature. I'll show it for a second and then jump back to sounds. Let's say I want to get Serum, which actually was going to be the example, arguably the most famous plugin of music production, period. You can rent to own, so it would be $10 a month for 19 months, and then you can cancel at any time, no interest in a sense, and once you do it for 19 months, you then completely own it. And the crazy thing is Serum is $190. So what's good about this is not like you're spending a lot more money similar to a loan or getting interest or anything like that. And so being honest, the plugins feature is great. Might as well say that's a side note. So let's talk about now the credits option and exactly how that works. So like I said, if you do the basic one, you get 100 credits per month. Those credits also roll over. So as you can see right here, I have 1,170 credits. And the way it works is, let's say I go to, because I'm going to do a house record. And let's say I found a sample I like. Let's say this clap snare, for example. I go here and I get 1 credit. Now, if I click this, I'm not going to because I probably don't need that. I essentially use one of my credits. So like I said, you get 100 credits every month, but they roll over. Let's say you only use 50 in 1 month. Those 50 that you didn't use roll over. As you can see right now, that's why I have 1,170. 1 credit is equal to 1 download, but it could be for anything. It could be for this, super quick clap snare. It could be for it could be for a 20-second vocal line. It could be for a burn and bow sample. Basically, any sample, no matter how long or how short, it doesn't matter. It's always 1 credit. So essentially, if you think about it, you get 100 downloads a month. In addition, I will say this. I don't know if they have it here. Let me go to a house. I'm just typing house again. If I go to the packs, right? Another thing I might as well mention is, let's say I go to here. Do they even have this? Let's do a house here. I'm going to do this. In addition, I can also download presets, right? So when I go here, I can go and check out presets, and these are typically 3 credits. So let's say if you do have Serum and you want to download a preset, and sometimes these presets are pretty fire, it's 3 credits. So it's a little bit more, I will say that. But being honest, it does depend upon the person. You may be wondering is 100 credits enough or not? I'd say yes. I've never had an issue with being oh shoot, I don't have enough credits left. Never been an issue. In addition, which is pretty awesome, and this is what I really love about Splice as well, is it's almost like a mini online cloud storage system, because when I go to my library and I go to sounds, you can see so far I've downloaded 10,771 sounds. Now, that doesn't mean I've used them. There's been sometimes I saw a free pack that was 0 credits, and I just was I'm going to download them anyway because it's free, right? So I've gotten a lot of free packs throughout the years that I've had Splice. And I think I joined Splice in 2017 or 16? I joined Splice maybe 17. I joined it a long time ago, right? That's why I only pay $7.99 a month, because that's what it was back in the day. But what's good about this is once I have downloaded, or in a sense purchased, that sample, I can re-download it an infinite amount of times for free. It's not like you buy it once and you're shoot, I have to buy it again or whatever. Nope. Once I download it, so you can see these are the different ones I've downloaded recently. So I actually downloaded this Tech House 2-pack from Spinnin'. I really like this one, right? So you have this crispy thing or whatever, this vocal pressure, right? So I've already purchased it. You can see it's in my library. So if let's say I want to re-download it, I can go here. Another thing I will say, as a quick side note, I did mention this briefly in the beginning, is that these are royalty-free samples. Like I said, you can download them use them in your song, release it, monetize it, make money. There's no issues there. If for whatever reason something ever comes up, this is like a 0.00001% chance, being honest, I can generate a certified license. What this means is that, let's say if someone ever comes after me or comes after you and says, hey, we have this sample in that song. Do you own that sample? Like, do you have the rights to use that sample in your song? You can generate a proof of license that you do in fact have it, right? So just in case, again, the chance of this happening is unbelievably rare, but just in case you need to know how to do that, you can generate a proof of license once you've purchased it. In addition, not only can I download it in my library, I can also download the song itself. With that being said, let's talk about how Splice exactly works. So you have to download the app, right? You can see right here, the app, I'm not gonna lie, used to be kind of glitchy. Now it's very, very seamless. So you can see the app kind of looks almost the exact same as the site. Like, personally, I know some people who actually just use the app, or you can just use the app if you want. I like to go back and forth between using the site. I like the GUI a little bit better in the app itself, right? Now, here's the way it works. I can either download it, and it goes right here, or I can download the file itself. So I click download, it downloads it like a normal file. Let me duck out Ableton for now. You can see I have the sample right here, right on my desktop, boom. Now, here's what I do. When you download a sample, it automatically goes to a specific location on your hard drive if you download it to your library. So if I download a sample normally, I have two different options. I can either do it here, and there's a very specific reason why I'm explaining this. I can either do it here, right, and then once it downloads, I'll just do this, why not? Right, so now it's in my library. Now it's appeared in the default location for Splice on my desktop, actually on my computer. Then I can also download the sample manually in a sense, and it will go to my designated location. You can see right here on my desktop. However, when you put a sample initially into your library, you can see right here, I do have the option to download. I don't have it here. Once I click this, it will automatically go in the default location for Splice. Now, when I go to Ableton, I use Ableton to make my music. I've already done this. You can add a folder, right? You can do this. So these are the different places. So like I have in my documents, my sample packs and stuff like that. I also added the Splice pack. I have a video list below in the description of how to do this. The locations you can see right here. So now, because I already did this add folder feature, I have the default location of all the Splice samples on my computer. So now, like say if I'm making music, and this is what I personally do, I'm like, just to show you like in real time how we do it. Let's say I'm like, all right, I'm making a Moomaton song. Actually, I'm doing a Brazilian song, Burn Bow. And I'm like, all right, I need a Burn Bow sample. I'm like, you know what, this one hit. Okay, yeah, that will work. I click here, boom, 1 credit. I now go back to Ableton, and boom, you can see it's gonna take a second. Oh, there it is, it just appeared. Rare Volume 1. Sometimes there is like a drop-down thing, because that's the way a lot of packs are organized, just to make it easier to find things, and then boom. I have this right here, I have the sample, and then if I say I want to bring this in to Ableton, that easy. Now, overall, you may be wondering, is Splice worth it or not? My initial answer is 100% yes, being honest. I have no affiliation with Splice, just gotta be blunt. It's great. I mean, I know it does cost more money now if you're joining as opposed to when I joined, but even so, for $13 a month, for basically 100 downloads, the fact that, like, say, you can keep your hard drive pretty clean, right? Because, like, say, if I download a bunch of samples, I don't use most of them, well, I can delete them because now they're still stored on Splice. The only thing about Splice, the only thing that I'm like, this is not the best, is more the creativity. I've done a couple videos about this. There's been a bajillion videos about this, right? There's been a bunch of musicians, producers, everyone talking about this, label owners even. And it's the fact that if you think about it, on Splice, you could download a bunch of samples and make a song in seconds, honestly, in seconds. And so the only thing that kind of starts getting more, if anything, philosophical than logistical when it comes to Splice is, well, does it stifle creativity? Now, this, again, it could be a 20 or 30 minute long video. So many YouTubers have made videos about this. So many people have talked about this. But I do want to say that at the end of the day, I know Splice has sometimes gotten both positive and also negative reviews because a lot of producers have said, look, Splice has ruined making music because it's so easy to download samples. I think the exact opposite. You know, for me, if, like, say I need a Burn Bow sample like I just showed you, I can get one and warp it and twist it and do some stuff to it and put it in my song. If I need a very rare vocal sample from a female vocalist, that has a very kind of Middle Eastern texture to it, like a very operatic nature to it. Almost if you think like Gladiator or Spartans 300 type soundscape feel, I can get that. If let's say I need a very, very specific ocarina sample because I want to do a remix of a song from Zelda Ocarina of Time, the best game of all time, by the way, in my opinion, I can do that, right? So I love Splice, and so I want to say that too because I have had some people be like, hey, Mark, I'm considering joining Splice, but I've heard some kind of like negative things. Being honest, Splice is great. I think at the end of the day, kind of one of the most, in my opinion, one of the most, if not maybe the most fundamental rule of production is this. It's not necessarily what you have, but it's how you use it.